throw it this way. Is that better? I get centered right there. Checkity check, check, checkity check. Seems to be working fine. I'm gonna do anchor positioning. I'm gonna do anchor positioning. Maybe, probably. Do. We probably don't even need the files drawer. I guess we could. Well, the cool thing about the files drawer is it makes space for my freaking head. So maybe we'll keep it. Yes. What else can I do to my head? I could make me very bright. That's artificially bright. I also have my Elgato. But it seems like I brighten up. Is that like too bright? I don't know. It looks kind of good, right? I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it on for now. Darken it a little bit. All right. Somebody said, I think says there's one person here. So hello, one person. I'm going to do this. We've done this on the stream before, but I left this demo in kind of not the greatest shape. And I do think it's cool. And I want to document it and then put it to bed in my brain, perhaps blog it. Right? So let's remind ourselves where we are. This demo has a whole bunch of paragraphs in it, up and down. And in the middle of it, there's a button. It's centered, and then intentionally I put it off center, the button, by I think just putting some margin on it to push it to the right in this case. And I did that so that there's like more space. Oh my God, AJP. Wow. It's been a long time, AJ. Hello. Thanks for joining my stupid stream. It's wonderful to see you. Cool. So this is off center on purpose because that means there's more space on the left than there is on the right. So just to give the browser some like information. Yeah, miss you too. All right. So more space over here. That's what we're going to ride. But I think I'm going to get rid of that. I don't want any artificial weird crap in this demo that isn't specifically for it. And I think I should have thought of this before, but like I can just put this button kind of wherever. Let me put it in like the third paragraph. I don't think we need like a zillion I'm going to put it in line because a button's an inline element, right? So this button should just be in the middle of a paragraph, which is fine. But then we have opportunity to be like, oh, now it's on the left because of reflow. Now it's on the right because of reflow and stuff. I think that's more interesting and more real worldy anyway. So we got that going on. So here's the button. The button itself has an anchor name on it with a custom ident of pop-out button. That's fine. And if the browser supports it, we're going to use anchor positioning to position that button. This was here, I think I was talking about how you could write some JavaScript to position this thing and then override that JavaScript with anchor positioning because anchor positioning probably will do a better job, which is interesting. And that's what I've literally done on CodePen a couple of times here for some of our positioning stuff. Not a lot, but I've started to roll that out. Just leaving the JavaScript in place for now while anchor positioning is like, just settling in to its browser support levels. Cool. What else do we have going on here? So let's see where we left off indeed here. Why is it open by default? If I refresh the page here, is it just open? Why is it open? Pop-out button. And the pop-out button opens up. Here's the pop-out information. Oh, and it has a class of open already. Why am I using a class of open? Why would I do that? Oh, it's because I'm not using the actual pop-out API. That's embarrassing. I mean, it's not, it's just like, why would we do that? Why don't we just why don't we just make it a pop-out? Or a pop-out? A pop-over, right? If this thing's a pop-over, isn't it just going to open when I click it? Ooh. Interesting. Now we're going to fight stuff. And I think that's because we're applying some anchor positioning to it, but it's going to have a bunch of its own styling now all of a sudden because it's a popover. And why don't we just see what we're going to get? What do you get on a popover? You get a bunch of crap that comes along for the ride, right? Width, fit, content, inset 0. We need to make sure that we're overriding that stuff. Inset and margin we almost surely need to override. So our popover has a class on it, right? Pop out information. So pop out information is the popover. So these two things can be like unset or something. I don't want them at all. Is that going to be happier? Yeah, we're kind of back at it. And it's already behaving how we want it to, or it's opening on the bottom left, which is what we want. It's not like forcing itself to open at the right. It's already making some smart choices, probably of code that we've already written. Let's see if it gets too close, though. Oh, yeah, look at that. Boop, 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 boop. AJ, imagine the jQuery that needed to be written to make that happen. Now it's so little. No JavaScript at all. That's awesome. But we made that happen, so we need to re-explain what we did there. So we're not fighting each other. If the browser supports this concept, then this is the name of the anchor. So this is connecting this button that's way up on paragraph 3, way up here, with this random div all the way at the bottom that's now a popover. And we get the open and close behavior for free, right? Or is it still the JavaScript doing it? I guess we can get rid of this. We don't need any JavaScript because HTML can just now handle this. But it's not going to actually work because we probably didn't connect IDs properly. The popover is definitely going to need an ID. ID equals my popover. Is that clear enough? Ooh. HTML for popovers. I don't want your explanation. I just want to know what the attribute is. It's popover target. So the button has a class which is fine for styling, and now it's my popover. Did they use the ID by popover too? Wow, me and MDN, we think the same. So is this going to work now? No, why not? Are we setting our own display values? Shouldn't be doing that anymore. Don't need the open class anymore. Now it's going to work. Yeah, hell yeah. Our left right's working great, even with the popover. We should have done that to begin this demo, probably. Hi, Andrew. Thanks for joining. Andrew says, tried to pull popover and anchor positioning into our work web boilerplate, but it was a no-go because of the combo of the polyfill and Safari had huge issues we couldn't overcome. You know, I can kind of relate. My first go at doing this, I thought I was doing it perfectly and doing something really simple, and I just absolutely, something was inscrutably wrong with it. As you know, this happens to me all the time on the stream, but still, this was even off stream, just in a production environment. I could not get it working properly. I think things have gotten better, but there's still some browser support issues. And the polyfill isn't, I think there's like one modern thing the polyfill doesn't do, which makes it feel like, oh, I don't want to invest too much in a polyfill that isn't like super maintained and stuff. And it's by Oddbird, and they say like, yeah, you want it maintained, then pay us to maintain it, which I actually kind of love. And I literally asked Google to please do it, and they didn't. I think that's probably complicated stuff, but we're doing pretty good here. And the point of this demo, again, wasn't just let's look at anchor positioning. It was like, let's look at anchor positioning in a somewhat complicated scenario. Complicated meaning I want multiple fallbacks. I guess we put that in the title. Like left and right is nice, but let's make sure top and bottom also work. And I think it does, right? If we get too close to the bottom, oh no, that's why we didn't put it in paragraph 3, because you can't get it close enough to the bottom then. Let's put Mr. Button further down. Space, paragraph further. And because I don't want this demo to look totally like shit, let's pick something nice. Classical humanist. With a generous helping of line height. Yeah. Oh, I don't like it. Every time I do not system UI for a demo, I'm like, nope. Nope. And margin will make margin. Body has the 8 pixels margin on it. We're going to remove it and add something more sensible to scoosh it a little bit, make it look a little bit nicer. And then when we get to the button, I want it to be very obvious that we have arrived at the button. Let's do the background canvas thing. And the color is canvas text. And then we'll go, oh, maybe not. I just want dark mode, I think. White. And then when you get to this button, it's not particularly important, so we'll put it down here, background red or something. I just want it so when you scroll to it, you're like, that's the thing. Why didn't that work? Aren't you a button? Oh no, that's information. I want the button. I want when you get to the button, I want it to be very obvious. Oh, and there's a SVG inside. Oh, okay. Border 0. Border radius, I don't know, 5 pixels. The fill inside needs to be white. And it's going to have the biggest box shadow ever. 0, 0, 150 pixels of white or something. So it'll just be blasting when we get there. No? Why doesn't box shadow work? I'm already off on a side mission. Is it just too light? You can't even see it? Different color? 10 pixels? Oh yeah, you can kind of see the red now. It's like a too big of a box shadow. Maybe because it had no spread or something. Do you guys spread it? Now it'll probably be too intense. Yeah, oh, that looks rad though. You're like, there it is, everybody, look. Display inline grid. Place items center. Will that fix the off-centeredness of it? Probably not. Oh, it totally did. God, I'm so good at CSS. The best. Padding. Make it look more buttony. Oh, I love it. Okay. And again, one of the reasons we're doing this instead of a title attribute or something is because this can have interesting stuff in it. And as far as a demo is concerned, I think it would be more compelling if this was visible. There could be a header in here and the header says more information, and there's lorem ipsum text in here a little bit, and that could have an anchor link in it. Try putting an anchor link in your title attribute. Not happening, but you can do it here. I'll link you to one of my favorite websites of all time. Cool. So now we have some stuff going on there. Let's style that so it looks, so again, as far as a demo is concerned, you're like, oh, I see. That's why you would want to do this, because the tooltip is rich. It's a rich text tooltip, I feel like, is the vernacular people would say about it. So no padding on it. We'll make the contents of it a section. Probably not a section, but something better than that. I'll just make it a div, right? Do I have prettier on this pen yet? Why is pug on this pen? Are we using any pug? I'm going to disable that. We don't need that, but we do need prettier to survive. All right, so when I save this, Pretty's going to run, right? Oh, God, I love it. Okay. So inside pop-out information, the div buddy has the padding on it now, which means the header doesn't, which means it could be like background black. I don't know if it needs to be white. It already probably is white, but then we can have this like special cool looking header on it. Oh, you can't read it. It sure does need to be. And why is there a little bit of space around it? Do headers have like margin by default or something? Pop out information. Margin trim is on it. I love putting margin trim on things and watching it fail in Chrome. This header has no margin around it. This has no padding around it, does it? So why is it like pushed away a little bit on the inside like that? I think if we want this to be open by default now, we have to put, ooh, how do you make a popover open by default? Boo. Is it just open? No. Popover open by default. Oh, that's not a thing? I mean, surely you could do it in JavaScript quick, but like there's no declarative popover open thing. There is with dialog. Whoa, that's too bad. I mean, we can click with our freaking hands, so I'm not that worried about it, but I am curious. 0.5 rem, 1 rem. Are there any other like food elements? I feel like we should ask Gemini or something. It would know. Yeah, popover. It does sound delicious, doesn't it? In a way that I can't think of other food HTML. Anyway, okay, so we have this popover opening that looks a little bit more realistic, perhaps. Maybe we'll make the P's inside of here not have margin, although that's awkward if there was multiple of them. I just don't like that top and bottom thing. That's why I use margin trim. Margin trim is great. Okay, and now I'm obsessing. Font size 85% or something, or we'll use my new friends, the keywords, which I think is hilarious that we can do that. Hell yeah, that's a delicious looking tooltip. All right, we keep getting distracted though, because the purpose of this is to figure out how the fallbacks are working. So we've anchored it. So this red thing and this popover they are tied together through anchor positioning, which we definitely learned you have to use position absolute for. You don't get that for free with anchor positioning. You have to say that. Fixed probably works too. I don't even know for sure. And then the position area is block end, inline end. What does that do again? I forgot. What if we don't do it at all? Then what do we get? It still works fine. I think it has to do with defaults, but now we need to look it up because we forgot. CSS position area enables an anchor position element to be positioned relative to the edges of its associate anchor by placing the positions on one or more tiles of a 3 grid. All right. I mean, I think it's there because it's like the first, like that's where we want it to be by default. And then if it can't be for some reason, or the browser decides it's better to be somewhere else, then it will try these other fallbacks. So the reason it was still working when I removed this is because it's like, oh, you're not even going to give me a default? Fine, I'm just going to go immediately to the fallbacks then, which is fine. But I guess this is like, would be first in line. This would be --0, I guess. And so block end means it's underneath, and inline end means it's to the right, I guess. So down and to the right is the default. Is that feel okay? We'd probably want to say block end center. Wouldn't you, for a default, for a tooltip, like under, or is actually like block start is maybe better. I feel like tooltips default should be above and centered. So if we click this, it's probably not room for center. So let's get it a reflow to the point where the center is probably about right and refresh it. Will it open top center first? No. Why? I don't know. Does it decide there isn't enough room? Which fallback are we dealing with even here? How would we know that? Do you think DevTools is smart enough to tell you which one of the position things it's trying to do? Probably not, right? Oh, it does. It's doing number 2 because the other 2 are crossed out. Do we trust that? Is DevTools smart enough to cross out the 2 that it's not using? That's fucking surprising to me, I think. So it's either just totally ignoring this because we have position tries, or it's the first in the list, and I don't know which of the 2 it's doing. So I guess that's a little bit of a to-do, is like, is it even trying to do this when we've set position try as well, question mark? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it, because it seems like right now it should try to open it top and centered, but it's not even trying to do that. Ooh, now it's up on the bottom. So the problem is opening DevTools is going to upset it. I kind of wanted to get it back in that state. All right, that's different. So if different things are crossed out, we know that thing works. Oh yeah, now 2 and 3 are crossed out and 1 is working. So position try is telling us which one of the fallbacks it's trying to do, which is great. But it does seem to ignore this entirely. So if we really wanted top and center to be the default, which I think we do, I think that feels the most tooltippy. We will do that. At position try 0. If we do that, then we put position area in here and say block. We'll just copy it and then not use it. We'll use this entire declaration. We'll remove our question because I think it's answered. We'll put 0 in the list, 0, and place 0 here. Now, I'm thinking, I'll refresh this just to be sure, that it's going to open top center right now. Why? Block start. I guess it's doing that. Let's see if it's 0. Let's see if that resolves to 0-ness. So when it's up and to the right, is that position 0? No, it's position 2. Doesn't like 0. I think we had trouble with center before. What is your problem with center, computer? It never wants to center. It always wants a corner. So we can get it down here. That's position 2. We can get it up there. That's also position 2. Now I don't trust this DevTools now. They're not both position 2 because those are clearly different positions. What does it seem like position is? This should be block start inline end. That is position 2. But once it flips down here, that's block end inline start. So that's position 1 now. But if we squeeze it and if we force it to the other side somehow, that's not ideal. Why would it think that's okay? Is it because we don't have a block end inline end? I guess it is. Do we need a 4th thing on here? Which is really a 5th thing? Position try 4 because we need a position area block end inline end. Now we need to put 4 in the list. Do you remember when we started this? This was my whole thing, is that I don't really want to do this. There should be, how many different, what is Una's tool for anchor positioning? There's not that many different things. Did she write this one? Because she's the one who made the cool tool. Cool tool, cool tool. You know when you're looking, you know what you're looking for? Ooh, Anchor positioning tool. There we go. See, there's not that many. 8, 16, 20. There's 20 possibilities only for position area. There should be some setting that just says, I don't care. I really don't care. Pick one of the 20. But I don't want to hand write all 20, you know? So what's top center? It's this one. Oh, it's just position area top. Is that why center isn't working? Because there is no center keyword? To say center, you just don't say anything. You just say top. That's probably why our crap is broken. So instead of this, you just don't. I'll just put top just in case I'm doing the logical properties wrong. So if that's the number one thing to try, and I get this thing back to the middle again and refresh it, will it? Okay, we're hoping I'm gonna say there's a 50% chance this is gonna open top centered. Oh yeah, good roll. Okay, there is no center keyword. Thanks, Una, helping us out here. So top centered it feels very tooltippy to me, but then it's like, oh, what if there's not room? There's not room in 3, 2, 1, boom. Now it pushes it there because one of these is best, which I guess is block, start, inline, start. It's this one. Cool. So it's just going to pick one of these. And we have a good collection of them here, but we don't have 20. We don't have all these. And I don't really care for a tooltip. It feels like, I don't know, just pick one of the 20. As long as it fits, I don't care. But I don't necessarily want to describe all 20 of them to you. So that's just by way of feedback. I mean, real world, I guess we have to do something. But I think we did it. I think all the scenarios are pretty much handled. And there is some weirdnesses like, oh, it chose center here, but if we refresh, will it definitely be center when I open it for the first time? Oh, it is this time. But I remember looking up the rules, like there's some kind of rules about when it's reevaluated and when it isn't. Like now it's all the way against the right. Of course, if we refresh it, it must open that same way. But if we're down here, it will open upwards. God, it's so nice. The fact that we get all that for free, I should almost stop complaining about how much we have to write here. All right, this comment is that one of the reasons that you list them like this is so that you get this at keywordy thing, because theoretically you can do more styling in there other than just position area. If we were just using position area, I think you could just comma separate them. Should we prove that? Position area. Can you comma separate these? Ooh, it doesn't. Actually, maybe it doesn't look like you can. You can do multiple things, of course. Oh, what's span all? And there is a center keyword. Oh no, I thought we were improving our understanding and now we're reducing our understanding. I say our only I know it means me. I'm sure you all are further along in some of this. Oh my God. There's all these self keywords and two span X self start. I can officially tell you that I don't know what span X self start means. And this is implying there's a hell of a lot more than 20 choices. It's just these are probably the ones that think she did view transitions with these. Probably. Don't know. Is there what is ICMB? What is that? Oh no, it's broke. Oh no, it's just white on white text. Inset modified containing block. A lot of words there. Don't know what that means exactly. All right, so we have to do this. That's almost, I don't know, comforting in a way that if you want a list of fallbacks, you have to do it this way. You can't just use position area, and hope that it does it. It does not take comma separated values, but it does have some fallbacky stuff. Isn't there some kind of property that you can say, oh, flip or whatever? Position, anchor, positioning, flip. But it's like way more rudimentary, isn't it? Flip. I thought it was like a keyword. Try fallbacks. Tries the shorthand for order and fallbacks. Position anchor, position area. Maybe this is where flip is. Maybe I invented flip. I thought there was a way that just does like, for example, X, left or right flipping, like very basic. Maybe that's what one of the keywords is kind of says. You see one that implies flipitude. I could be totally wrong about this. I just thought there was some kind of like more simple flipping behavior that you didn't have to specify all the fallbacks yourself with. Some kind of like middle ground behavior. But I think I might be wrong about that. Oh, it's on position try, Anderson. Oh, okay. So position try, you can give it the custom ident, or you can say flip a direction. Okay, that makes sense. So that's like the middle ground chill version. Is this? Maybe that's what we want though, because all we're doing is flipping top and bottom and left and right. Although that's not entirely true, because sometimes we have centering and sometimes we don't. But what would we get for that? That would be easy to test if we just got rid of our custom fallbacks and did these fallbacks instead. But then we'd need a default one. Let's rock this one to start, because otherwise it doesn't have any position area to even start with. What do we get? Left. Oh, I already hate it. So it was unwilling to flip in line, clearly. That's what we're trying to avoid right there. So that's not enough. It doesn't appear that flip inline is working in this case. So I don't, obviously it's a misunderstanding. I doubt it's a massive bug. But in my just intuiting what that would do is that it would freaking try to flip inline first. Interesting. Okay. And so what we did is just a comma separated list of our own position try fallbacks, which was working great. So that's cool. It's interesting that you can put a keyword there before your custom ident. So what does most width do? That seems most width, most ice, and flip lock. Oh, interesting. Let's at least learn what most width does, because I think that's the one that like you're telling it, giving it little information about when you hope to have it be affected. Oh, it just doesn't even say anything. Great. I don't know where we would look other than MDN for this kind of thing. I guess we could just try it. I'm not quite sure what to look for. Doesn't most width seem a little obvious though? Like, isn't that how you assume that it works? Is there any information we can glean from this? There is really only just two places it appears. It seems like most width would be the default. Like, yeah, put yourself where you have the most room to put yourself from a horizontal perspective. Or maybe the default is most width and most height. But I don't know. Don't know. Anyway, the way we have it is working awesomely. It does all the flipping that I would want it to do. I don't think I have any changes necessarily. That's it. And I think if we randomly put like most width in here, it's going to work. And but are we helping or hurting anything by doing that? A little unclear. Oh, it just broke. Maybe that's some future syntax. I mean, we saw it in their little code example. I don't even want to go there then. Or maybe you have to put it, maybe you have to put it at the first, oh my gosh. Maybe you put it here. And then it applies to all of them. Yeah. fair enough. But I feel like that's what it's probably already doing. Man, there is a lot to learn on this stuff. All right, well, I might just call it there, because I think that's kind of what we want to show the world is like, look, you can do really great tooltips with this, and you don't have to pull in, like, what's the popular library again? Floating UI or something like that, which is, 15 kilobytes at a minimum of positioning information, and is JavaScript focused and has a learning curve, and it's on NPM, so it has supply chain issues, or what if NPM is down and all that stuff. The fact that we can do this in just not that much is interesting. And then it also makes me think, just because it was just a couple of, not a week or two ago, where we were talking about mix-ins in CSS, like, wouldn't it be interesting to package all this up into like at mix-in Chris's nice tooltip? And it's just this chunk of stuff, and we grab all this positioning stuff and we pull it in there. So if you ever need to use it, you just call like add include, or whatever the keyword is for mix-ins that they're talking about, and you just get all this for free. Might be a golden age for once mix-ins arrive in CSS, a new like renaissance of CSS stuff on NPM, because it'd be like, ooh, wow, a really complicated, cool slider thing, a really nice tooltip. I'll just pull it from NPM and use it. Seems like more likely when we get mix-ins. And then let's try to answer this question too. What can you do in an at position try? So not position try the property. We want the at thing. Do they have a page just for it? That seems like the most likely thing here. Okay. Descriptor list. It's a dashed ident. Is that what we're calling them? I keep calling them custom ident, but I guess dashed ident is more specific. Should we start calling them dashed idents? I guess. You get a position anchor and you get a position area. And then what else? Ooh, you get some margin, width and height and stuff. Is there anything else you can do? Maybe not. It's intentionally limited, I think. Let's try to be weird with like margin block start or something on one of the fallbacks. So the one that is at the bottom left, if it ever needs to be at the bottom left, we'll say margin block start of like 100 pixels. Let's see if it accepts it. So how do we get it at the bottom? We have to go up here. Oh, look at that. That's it. We just proved it right there. So in this exact position, it's choosing position try one as the place with the most, that's the best match, or at least the best match that's first in the list, and we pushed it away 100 pixels from it. But if we wanted to be like, I don't know, also rotate 45 degrees or 35 degrees, it's just not going to do that, I think. Yeah. It's just ignoring that because it's not on this like whatever list. Inset property descriptors. It only lets certain crap into that at try thing. No colors, no nothing. But apparently you get a little sizing and you get a little margin. Can't even do padding. Just sizing and margin. That's all you get. No colors, no nothing. So this is like intentionally doesn't work. And there's precedent for that. Hello, that lucky Dutch guy. You're wrong, I'm afraid. Transform is a rotate function, or rotate is a transform function, but you can, these days, you can also just say rotate. You want to see? We could just make all of our P's rotated 4 degrees, and they're all going to rotate. See? Cool. This intentionally doesn't work. What I was going to say is like, for example, at font, what is it called? At font face. You can only do certain things inside of here too. At keyframes, there's a special syntax that only works inside of at properties and whatever. there's plenty of precedent that like you can only do certain things inside certain at keyframe blocks. So the fact that this doesn't work isn't totally weird. I think I'll leave that there. That feels like demo worthy. All right. I think I'm going to hop out. Ooh, that should go away though. Intentionally doesn't work. I'll just write this, but you could do this and then I'll just leave it commented out down there. Merp. I think that's in pretty good shape. I think if I was going to explain this to somebody, that this is how I would explain it. I'm going to say you probably want a bunch of fallbacks because whatever your tooltip positioning is has a potential of data loss. The data loss being if this were to kind of go up over top of the screen, we could just be like, oh, well, too bad, so sad. But now that we have this possibility, it certainly is a better idea that you can just move it. And now it's moved. That's great. People would be disappointed, I think, if you're right here in this article and you click this and it opened above it. You'd be like, come on, get your poop together. But now it's going to open in a fully readable position. And if it just happens to be just too damn close to one edge, then it opens on the other side. That's just appropriate. It's just a good idea. It's just what we need to think about in digital design. It's just good. It's nice. Maybe we would name these a little better. Maybe we would retain the centering if we could a little better. I don't know. But I guess that's why they give you the control. I guess that's why this is important, that you should handcraft these yourself. I will reiterate one last time. I wish I didn't have to. I wish there was some magical thing you could say that just says, just try what you think is the best one and then put it there instead of me having to do so much work. But the fact that this is already a hell of a lot less work than doing this with a library, let alone writing your own library or something like that, is a big deal. So, but not bad. I would feel like this is like bloggable with just a smidge more cleanup perhaps, but this is exactly what I wanted to do today, is get this in good shape, and we did. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Good to see everybody.